All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. It's Pastor Dow. I've been paying attention to the news a little bit this weekend, and there are a lot of people on the left in the country that is concerned about the position and the posture that the United States of America is taking on a global scale. And their concern is that we have become a separatist country. And we're isolating ourselves from the rest of the world. First of all, number one, we are the world's lone superpower. And actually, whether you understand it, comprehend it or not, the rest of the world actually marched to the beat and the tune of our drum. Do we allow nations to go ahead and to continue on their sovereignty and their alleged independence? Sure we do. Now, are there other nations that be willing to face us and die if necessary? Sure they do. Sure they will. But that's why we have diplomacy. And people try to be diplomatic. But you know, I think the best way for me to try to describe this and understand this, or get you to understand exactly what's going on, let me just speak to you just briefly a moment about my plight, okay? Once I got out of the military, I spent 10 years in there, and once I got out, I just started following the Bible, and I started to do exactly what the Bible says. When I started doing exactly what the Bible says, that's when I was labeled a cult. I started keeping the commandments. And as soon as I started keeping the commandments, man, it's like this whole world, especially the Christians, man, they went off on me. Next thing you know, because, you know, I have a hue to my skin and I moved to an area where there are people who know hue. Next thing you know, I'm a cult. I'm a cult. And they know nothing about me. They know nothing about the doctrine. They won't investigate it. It's just their own biased opinions. There are other groups that live in this area. And I mean, some of them are pretty dang disgusting the way they live now. And I mean really disgusting. And nobody ever says anything about them. But the discrimination comes because we are a diverse group. All right? Because, now think about this. A lot of people assume that there's only what they call blacks that live here. But we have a diversity on this community right here. As a matter of fact, the blacks on this community, we're not even in the majority. We're the minority still on this community. If you're just going to use black and white or Caucasian stuff. And most people don't realize, understand, they don't comprehend it, don't care. I understand what the Donald Trump administration or President Trump administration is doing. They have to vet a lot of people and stuff because the truth is we got a lot of mess going on in this world. And just because you are totally oblivious to it and is way outside the scope of your understanding and your comprehension does not mean that it doesn't exist. You see, some of us, we would rather become reactive. We would rather react and then we want to respond when something happens rather than using preventative measures. I follow the Bible. I try my best always to live a quiet and peaceful life. I won't disturb anyone. Now, you might come on in this YouTube video and get very disturbed about what I said, especially concerning the word. But hey, it sounds like a personal problem, don't it? And people are going to have problems with us, especially when we're doing what we're supposed to be doing as a country and stuff. I myself personally, if I was the president, I'm telling you right now, the first thing I'd have done, I would have stopped all people from coming into this country until I can figure out exactly what's going on, because what has happened is causing our infrastructure in our country to erode. And we have innocent Americans dying on the streets, not only at the hand of the police, but at the hands of people who have come in as what they call undocumented workers or refugees. And if I'm a president and I have the best interests of the people in mind, just like I said, and not the rich people who are lining their pockets through big oil and the big banks, I'm actually going to do what I can to protect the citizens. Now, I know that a lot of people in this country are dumb on purpose and they really don't comprehend it, get it, or understand it. Totally irrelevant. I have a job to do. And you know, most people, they hate Trump for no other reason than just hate him. They know nothing about the man. They only know about what his words is going on and says. And believe me, I understand what comes from my heart. But when you look at his performance, it's hard to argue. Now, let me tell you the truth about President Barack Hussein Obama, okay? And I'm going to get the figures on Trump, okay? He was in office 8 years. That man went on over 380 golf trips. 380 golf trips. Now, don't get me wrong. I do comprehend and understand that the leader of the free world, he needs some time. He needs some time to keep his wits about himself because the country and the world is always going to be in the back of his head and mind. And I said it once, I'm going to say it again. I understand now and have understood for quite a few years the reason why CEOs need a lot of vacation time. I really truly do, because see, when I come home, my job still ain't done. if we use this community itself, when they leave the bottom of this community and stuff and they go home, all that time is to them. All that time is to their family. Not myself and my family. My job is never, ever done. I give more, I do more, I plan more, and because that's my job. You understand? That's literally my job. And not only am I instrumental in my own homestead, but we've got other communities. Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, South Carolina. They're popping up all over the place. And I'm talking about communities, literal communities, communities that are starting to work. And I'm instrumental in going to those and working on the, and I, a lot of times when I get finished doing what I call paperwork here, answering mail and stuff, and I get finished doing this, and I'm talking about this for a reason, I think I'm done. So good. I get back out on the land. A week later, I'm right back at square zero again. Am I complaining? No, not by any stretch of imaginations. But I'm watching to see the shift that changes, especially as the ministry grows and the responsibility that I have. My phone constantly rings because I have elders and people that vie for my attention that want counsel. And then I have all these people out here I never even know, I don't meet, and they act like I'm a pastor to the whole world, and you're not even part of us. So that's the same way with the United States of America. The world is not part of us. So we don't owe them an answer for what we're going to do. Is that making sense? And if you're going to become a part of, you're going to be a part of us, then we can start talking a little bit better. We can start being a little bit more intimate in our discussions. But other than that, I truly don't have too many answers for you. You have a pastor. Well, people, we don't need no pastor. Well, again, that's your personal prerogative. What does the Bible say? And if you don't know what it says, I understand. It's like the other day, I had a lady up in the bank says to me, well, I just believe, and this is not in context what we're speaking about, but this was the gist of it, that when you come to an area, you should do like we do. I'm not going to do like anybody does. I'm going to live my life the way I see fit, according to the way the Constitution of the United States of America says, and I'm going to live by the principle to harm no one. If you're holding snake handling services and the whole area does it, I'm not going to be coming to your snake handling services. If you're worshiping crosses and bowing down to Christmas trees and stuff and chasing rabbits, chasing eggs and Easter, I'm not going to be doing that stuff because I know what the Bible says. I've informed myself. To hell with tradition, to hell with philosophy. And I'm telling you what, the way we're getting taken advantage of in the United States of America by the world, to hell with the world until we figure out exactly what's going on.